Happy Wednesday. Now, have the interest rates finally peaked? Is it time to start purchasing homes again? The answer to that question in a word is no, it's not. And why would you guys listen to people that have been wrong the entire time about the housing market, at least in 2022? Regardless, welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. And today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and clearly, very clearly, home prices are plummeting across the nation. And now we have 11 metro areas with year-over-year decline. And we are only at an average of 3% gains for the entire year, you guys. That is absolutely astonishing. And today, we're gonna review Redfin's weekly report and look at any week-over-week changes for online searches, buying demand, touring, mortgage application, median sales price, mortgage payments, listing cuts, and inventory. So it's going to be a really in-depth video today, you guys. But remember, I'm not your financial advisor, even if we want that to be, even though my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, and instructor in all things real estate, and I had a foreclosure, and I'm currently renting. So think about the perspective I have, and do me a favor for my perspective. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't leave me hanging, guys. Shoot me a comment below. But we're going to jump into a Redfin article today titled Housing Market Update. Annual Home Price Growth Slows to 3%. Super astonishing, guys. Let's jump right into the article. So a few things that I kind of want to pinpoint, guys. I don't want to just read the article. I want to just highlight a couple of things that are good, starting with the top. Now, the reason I want to point this out is you have to be really careful, guys. Now that CPI has come in at 7.7, which is still, just to clarify, you guys, a 7.7 CPI is still super bad and super high. So, just pay attention to the over-optimism and be cautious if you hear the same type of optimism from someone else, because none of these people are listening to the Fed, but it is what it is. Let's start. Inflation has begun to slow, which is already helping bring daily mortgage rates down. However, a longer trend of lower inflation is needed for sustained rate relief. So that's the thing, you guys. We need consistent months of lower inflation. The fact that we only had 1 month and people are losing their minds is shocking to me, but let's continue to read. Home sale prices rose 3.2% year over year during the 4-week period ending November 6th. And I hate where it says it went up, it rose 3.2%, because week to week, home prices actually went down, and I'll show you that here in a minute. The median home sales price has fallen 8.4% since reaching an all-time high in June. Now, I know I said a little bit higher than that, but it just depends on whose data you're looking at as far as the total growth in 2022. They're saying it's down from peak 8.4%. That's fine. We're going to go off of Redfin's data. Now, let's read the paragraph I highlighted. This morning's report that overall inflation rate is finally starting to back off makes it even more likely that the Fed will slow their rate increases to 50 basis points next month. The inflation news is already helping to bring daily mortgage rates down. However, Chair Powell has indicated that inflation will need to slow for several consecutive months. Again, for several consecutive months before the Fed would lower its target for how high it raises rates next year. So in other words, guys, they're not done doing work. And the fact that people are running back into the market or screaming it's time to buy again, it's shocking. But usually, the only people that are saying that are the people that have been wrong this whole time. So again, listen to their advice with a grain of salt, right? Still, high home prices are propping up inflation, but things are changing faster than the numbers would have suggest. The employment numbers that came out today don't reflect this week's layoffs, and prices of the past month closed sales don't reflect the contracts home buyers are signing with sellers today. The buyers who remain in the market are likely getting much better deals than the median asking or sales price reflects. The typical home now sells for less than asking. Price drops remain at a record high, and seller concessions are becoming increasingly common. So you guys may remember, going back to the beginning of the year, what I essentially said is I believed in Q4 of this year, we would possibly start seeing buying opportunities. Now, I'm saying right now, it's probably best just to pump the brakes on that, guys. There's still way too much dust that needs to be settled. But I also said in Q3 of this year, buying incentives would be coming back in full swing. And that's exactly what we're saying. So just because the CPI report came in slightly, you guys, slightly under expectations, does not mean the Federal Reserve is done. It does not mean they're going to pivot tomorrow. So what it does mean is a lot of people that assumed that inflation was under control dumped their money in the market. Once again, the Federal Reserve absolutely hates seeing market rallies like this when they're battling inflation. So more than likely, it was a sign to the Federal Reserve, in my opinion, or it should be, that more quantitative tightening is needed because people are still spending recklessly, right? At least that's what I'm saying. So again, that in my mind is going to take an even bigger toll on the housing market in 2023. But let's continue and look at leading indicators right now. All right, so here's some of the leading indicators. And you guys remember me saying we have now our 11th metro city on the year-over-year price decline list. That is a huge deal, by the way. But let's look at some of these leading indicators. For the week ending November 10th, 30-year mortgage rates increased to 7.08%. Now, since this report, guys, obviously the interest rates have gone down. Right now, interest rates are probably in the mid to lower sixes. But again, that's probably only going to be for a short period of time. But say you bought right now. If you buy right now, you're still buying at a better time than people that were buying in June. So I'm not saying to buy right now, but if you put it in perspective, it's better to buy now versus June or July. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying buy right now. I'm just comparing the two. Now, fewer people search for homes for sale on Google. That's down 28%, y'all, year over year. Now, the seasonally adjusted Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index is actually down 34% year over year. So obviously the unaffordability is starting to hit the resale sector, and it has been hitting the resale sector. And now we're clearly seeing that in the numbers, obviously. Now, touring is also down year over year, y'all. 34%, 30 plus 4, so 34% decline. This is a big number right here, guys. Mortgage applications have absolutely plummeted. They're down 41%. Now, as I've been telling you guys, I feel that personally because my W-2 job, even though I'm not originating right now, because I had to step out. I don't believe in what's going on right now, but I still see it even though I'm not in origination because my job is more of a support role, a teaching role, a management, type role, an empowerment role. So, I know actually some really good loan officers and I'm really worried about them because their business is dried up. So again, you guys, these are just things to come. We're entering times of the year where real estate goes dark. So the fact that we have seasonal trends that are going to put more pressure on prices than just the quantitative tightening, I think it's going to spiral out of control hard. That's why my target purchase date is February of 2023. But sit down a minute. Let me explain. Listen to my specificity. I'm saying that my personal buying target is February 2023. I'm renting right now, all right? I'm throwing my money away in rent. I don't have to buy in February. My rent is good till June. But I'm hoping February, you guys, just because of the price declines, because that time of year. And then also remember this, I'm not trying to time the bottom of the market with my primary residence. But what I will do is I will put my money where my mouth is. And I will show you guys that if I do believe it's time to buy, that I myself will purchase. And I hope you guys value that because it's super scary and I don't want to disappoint anyone. But regardless, let's jump back into this article right now and look at the year over year price decline. Okay, guys, so I love this section. And y'all, I have to give props to Redfin for giving us data once a week. I really hope they don't go out of business. I fear that they might, let Zillow go out of business, not Redfin. Anyways, the median sales price was down, by the way, didn't have down here. The median sales price was down $359,250, up only 3% year over year, the slowest sales price growth since the beginning of the pandemic. Home sales price fell from a year earlier in 6 metro areas. Now, guys, there's 5 metro areas that have fallen off this list that were once on this list. But year over year price decline is important because it means that anyone who purchased in these cities this year is more than likely down on their equity and upside down in their house. The cities still on this list are San Francisco, Lake County, the new metro area of Stockton, California. You guys, California is getting rocked. I'm going to make a special video just about California because California has the most metro areas with year-over-year price decline. The next one's Oakland, San Jose, and Pittsburgh. Now, obviously, we're missing like New Orleans, Buffalo, Honolulu, and a few other cities. So now let's look at the median sales price, y'all. Now, as you can see here, last week it kind of trended pretty sharply down. This week it's still trending downward. If you see right here, guys, we only have year-over-year home price growth slightly over 3%, so 3.2%. And I'm so desperate. I want this red line to go under the blue line. If this red line goes under the blue line this year, that means that anyone purchasing real estate on average this year lost money on equity, right? Which is astounding, okay? Because remember, we're coming out of the largest equity growth in history. So the fact that we've slowed down this fast, you guys, this is shocking. I don't understand. I still don't understand why people say, oh, it's not crashing yet. It hasn't hit my market. It's only gone down 10%. You guys, listen, the fundamentals historically, it's gone down. Prices, median sales prices have gone down faster than any time in history. Anytime in history. And it's just begun. It's just begun. It's going to continue. It's going to continue into 2023. Astonishing, you guys. I'm sorry. Let's get back into the data. Now, one of the reasons that median sales price is going down, and by the way, we haven't even seen foreclosures, unemployment, or hypersupply yet. But one of the primary reasons is unaffordability. I mean, it's easy to understand that. Unaffordability is essentially, year over year, 50.7% higher as far as mortgage payments. And you can see it's still kind of trending upward, guys. Now, what's going to happen with a lower average interest rate is more than likely next week, we're going to see this number drop because it's going to reflect the lower interest rates that we will have going into this week. So, in other words, if you're in the process of purchasing, you're going to want to lock your rate. Okay. So again, let me just really kind of, look at you in the eyes. I know I'm not looking at you in the eyes, but if you're in the process of purchasing, I'm not saying you should be, but if you are, lock your rate. Lock your rate right now because I don't think it's going to be a long-lasting thing, nor was it in the end of June and July of this year. Let's get back into the data and look at inventory. Here's the months of supply available on the market. This takes into account also demand. So this isn't the actual unit amount, guys. The unit amount actually went up about 20,000 month over month, according to Fred economic data. But the months of supply available on the market is at 3.3 months. Now, depending on who you talk to, from 3 to 6 months is a more balanced market. Under 3 months of supply is a very toxic seller's market. Over 6 months of supply is a buyer's market, but I'll argue that right now is a buyer market, even at 3.3 months, because of the trends in the industry. But you can see that we have more months of supply than we did since July of 2020. So what they're doing is working. So all these people are saying we can't have this happen because of foreclosures, because of demand, because of unemployment, because of lack of inventory. They were wrong, y'all. They were wrong. If can't no one afford to buy something, ain't no one gonna buy it, right? All right, so here's the most forward-looking trend, y'all, as far as the interest rates impacting median sales price. As you can see, listings that had price cuts, it's still surging. It's almost at 8%, guys. This is what we want to take, a look at just to see if the interest rates are having an immediate effect. So we're going to keep our eyes on this, but it's probably a sign of more median sales price declines depending on how many people go back into the market and purchase real estate. Now what I want to do is compare where we are at today as far as interest rates and median sales price compared to where we were at in June and July. Because remember, a lot of people back in June and July, oh, the Fed is pivoting, demand is going back into the market, it's time to buy again. But the reality is, if you listen to anyone's advice that was saying that, you're upside down, on average, you're upside down in your house by over $30,000. But I want to show you guys sales price and payment. So let's access this information right now. And I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown and then we'll end this video. All right, guys, and I'm going to Redfin here. This is Redfin Data Center. I love this so much, this information. I really feel like so many people can be empowered just by accessing this information alone because it helps to know. I'm a type of person, I want to know what's going on. I don't want to be kept in the dark. So I'm going to select median sales price, okay? So Let's get the information. So back in June, as you can see here, the median sales price was $392,000, peaking at a year-over-year price growth of 13%, not 17%. 17% was according to Zillow, 13% according to Redfin. So we're at $392,000. Fast forward to today, we're at $359,250. So week over week, home values went down about $1,000. All right, so we have our values. We have $359,250 and we have $392,000. Now let's see where rates we're at. So here's Fred economic data, 30-year fixed rate mortgage averages in the United States. Also a really good data provider. Fred has so much information, y'all. But let's go back to this year. I believe it was about June 16th right here. So we're going to compare the sales price from June 16th and an interest rate of 5.78%. We're also going to take the new average of 7.08%. Even though we know interest rates are lower right now, I don't care. I'm just going to use the data from Fred and Redfin to get this information for you guys now. So I'm going to type in Google. You guys can do the same. Mortgage calculator. It's that easy. Do you see that? This comes up right away. And I'm going to use the sales price as the loan amount. Normally there's a down payment, so this is generally not accurate. So I'm going to put 5.78% as the interest rate. As you guys are getting familiar now, that means the average mortgage payment without including taxes and insurance is $2,295. Let's put the new purchase price of $395,250 in here. Let's do the interest rate of 7.08%. Even though right now interest rates are more like 6.5. Let me show you 6.5 real quick. So 6.5, you guys. Anyway, so interest rates right now. Do you see this? So if you got an interest rate today, your payment is lower than the house payments were back at the peak of June. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Your payment's lower now, and your home is about $32,000 lower. But let's just take the average of the preceding week, which is 7.08%. That makes that gives you a mortgage payment of $2,409. Let's calculate the difference right now. So we take $2,409 divided by or minus $2,295. That's a difference in monthly payment of $114. But remember, home prices are now $32,750 cheaper. So times 12, okay? That means per year you're paying $1,368 more per month on your mortgage, but that's still not getting close to $32,750. So I take $32,750 and I divide by 1368. That means it will take you roughly 24 years to recoup the amount of money that you're upside down in your house if you purchased in June, the end of June, middle to end of June, versus right now. That means if you sell or refinance before 23 years, you made a bad decision. And the thing is, the other thing that's really a bad decision is you're trapped in your house with the inability to sell. And if you're in distress and need to sell in a distressed market, that's when foreclosures and short sales start to surge and the fear really spirals out of control. So in other words, you guys, just sit tight for just a bit longer. The dust is still in the air. Sit tight. All of the data and trends are on our side now, but I get some people have to buy, do what you got to do. I'm just giving you my opinion, of course. In conclusion, I believe as a result of the so-called plummeting residential mortgage rates and the 7.7% super high still, it's still super high CPI report, the market may soften up for a few weeks or even a month, bringing back in demand to our market. So take this as an opportunity just to see how fast demand actually come back into the market, because a lot of people have saying, oh, there's so much demand pent up on the sidelines. So start to watch. Now, here's the thing. I believe so many people came back into the market because they believe we successfully are combating inflation, even though most of those people have no idea what inflation even is. I don't think that these people will be as in bad a position as the people that ran back into the market, you guys, in July and in June and August. Nevertheless, it will be interesting to see what happens. And in the meantime, remember, work on your credit, your income, your assets, be happy, and become an expert in your local housing market. Now, again, you guys, happy Monday. I hope you have a great week. And I really hope you guys got some value, insights, and perspective from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck and I hope you win.